Well, this is my deck supper. It's early. It's 3:20 or whatever. May 19th. But I'm tired, and I can't expect that I'm gonna stay awake much longer because I only had 6.5 hours sleep, and I didn't sleep well the night before. So I guess I should move that. Now I'm just having the same thing that I had for earlier, I guess. I'm having a couple falafels and hummus sandwich. Not that exciting. But I left while I was working on my blog post. I left James to watch this, and it's about 4 transgender women. He said it wasn't worth really watching, but he found it interesting enough. And right now he's inside watching this. I really have no interest in watching either of them. I mean, whatever. When not maybe the most attractive people who find themselves in a man's body, but really they feel that they should have been born into a woman's body. They might not be the most attractive women. They might not be the most attractive men. Once you get into your midlife, it usually doesn't make much difference. I mean, you see people walking around with a more of a diabetic kind of frame, and pretty much, does it matter? Woman, man, pretty much looks the same, right? What does it matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if you happen to be a bombshell, right? It's just you happen to get that outside appearance and whatever. It doesn't, it doesn't really amount to anything. So, and it doesn't interest me at all. So that's why I've left James to watch these things. So if it was a show about pretty flowers, then I'd be watching. I guess I just expect a little more from people than to just be pretty or not or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. That's not what matters to me with people at all. I often ask James why he fell in love with me, whatever. Why he went for me before we got together, when we got together, whatever. And he comes up with different answers, but usually it's about the same. But he liked the way that I liked poetry, that I was interested in poetry. Well, he's a poet, right? So that interested him because he thought, oh, she will love me. But most of the time he said, you were a hard worker. So we used to work at the same place, and so he'd say you were, well, I don't know if this is true, but he'd say you were one of the 2 hardest working people there. He meant him and me, right? That's important. That's a hard thing to answer, really. I don't think it's fair that I ask him, because it's I mean, how can you really pinpoint it? You think, oh, well, I like this about this person. But what made, what sealed the deal, you don't know. It's like a whole bunch of things, right? I can't use utensils very well. This seems to happen every time I try to eat. I really shouldn't try to eat in public. I don't know why I've started doing this. I guess so you can watch me eat off of my lap. So, it isn't now my front so far, it's just on my lap, so that's got to be somewhat more attractive. I think I'll talk about this one a little bit later. I just finished this recently. It was very interesting. So I think I'm going to talk about it later though. I don't feel like it right now. I'm very, very tired. But I'm going to take my 8 cloves of garlic. Every day for supper. If I get hungry later on, I'll have some oatmeal. It's, the way I have it with the ground flax and the cinnamon and the saskatoons, of course. That helps that go down. And it's even down my front. I don't know how I did that. I mean, the spoon. That's a little bit trickier to get wrong. Honestly, I can't think of an easier way to do 8 cloves of raw garlic. I really can't. My aunt said just put it between 2 pieces of bread like a sandwich. I just want to get it down as fast as possible. I don't want to have to taste this much garlic because it really burns. It's not good. Oh boy, I need to sleep. This is terrible. I can only imagine how many typos I've been putting in this blog. Go. Now, I won't be leaving this table here, but I have decided that I do want to have a couple chairs here in this spot. A little thing. I've never put chairs in this spot on the deck since I've lived here, but it would be nice, because the door's right there, it would be nice to have some place to set down groceries as I come in and not on the deck itself, and it'd be nice to see here because this spot is awful shady, and plus, it's really not a good space for much of anything else. Like, I often use it for storage or something like that, which is a really bad use for it, because then I have to walk by it and look at the ugly storage mess, right? It's not a good idea. I've tried gardening in this space, but since it's so shady here, I end up not even the shade-loving plants, like the brain's not working. Psst! Out! Cats. Just constantly in there. Ugh. Like begonias. They don't seem to like it here. So, but I am going to try to put in a few. Because I like to be surrounded by plants. So if I'm going to sit here, I'm going to try putting in a few. So, but one thing you can always do, if you have a spot that you have tried putting flowers in before and for whatever reason it's a nightmare. Like it could be just too wet and shady, or it could be, and so you're even struggling when you're, say, trying to garden with ferns and hosta or something, and you're like, this is just a nightmare. And then it could be too hot and dry and you're constantly having to, like, especially if it's deck plants or whatever, you're watering and you're finally you've upgraded to planters this big and they're still drying out and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Then maybe consider artificial flowers. Honestly, if you just, even if you're planting your planters and you want to space out your plants properly, because you don't want to, like, you're going to have extra plants. What are you going to do with them later on in the season? You're going to pull them out and just chuck them? I mean, you paid money for that, or you grew it yourself, or whatever, right? And you'll feel bad about it. So you might want to space your, like, say if this is your plant pot, you might want to space your plants out, right? And you know it's going to fill in, but right now there's some empty spots and you don't want to see that. So you can stick in artificial flowers into those spots. And then when the plants that you like grow in, you can take the artificial flowers out, and then you don't have to feel bad. I got into doing that because my grandma, she used to garden a lot. Not the French one, the other one. And that's where I got into gardening, was because of that grandma. She was like, well, I just adored her. She was my world. And anyway, so I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, when she got older, she got more and more of the plants became artificial. And she'd say, they're just as good. And everything was turning that way. The more tired she was getting. So they're not just as good. They're not. But in some ways, they are better. They don't require any care. So if you're old and tired, right? So, anyway. You can easily fill in spots in your deck that you don't necessarily want actual flowers in, or places that you're only going to see from a fair distance, right? If you're not right next to it, or I gotta show you, I'm going to end up moving a fake plant in behind this chair. Well, I'm not going to see it when I'm sitting in this chair. What do I care? It's just something that's going to be behind the chair. And it'll be sticking up here and looking good enough. Just fine. I certainly don't want to have to water a plant that's stuck in behind this chair, because then I'd have to move the chair every time, right? It's just as good. I don't think I can eat my sandwich. I think I've almost had enough. We'll see. I really should just use my fingers all the time. Days like these are funny, you know. Not a drop of rain, but it's felt like it will all day. Well, I just have cucumber, red onion, red bell pepper, and hummus. Nothing special. Yeah, it's good, but I've had enough. That's enough food. Maybe I'll have it later.